I didn't plan to come home that day. That's the part that still tastes like iron in my mouth. I came back early. I told no one. I wanted the surprise to be mine. When my car slowed on our street, I saw the crowd before I saw the house. Cars lined the curb like a funeral disguised as a celebration. Blue and pink balloons swayed in the late afternoon heat. A banner stretched across my garden gate, letters smiling too wide. Welcome our little miracle. I sat there with the engine running, watching strangers laugh on my lawn. My lawn. My miracle, apparently. That was the moment everything ended. Not with a scream, not with tears, with silence. The kind that sharpens. I used to believe in him. That's not nostalgia talking, that's fact. We met when ambition still felt romantic. He admired my focus, I admired his hunger. We built things together, a house, a routine, a reputation. Trust wasn't promised, it was practiced. I traveled for work because someone had to. He stayed because someone wanted to. We called it balance. We called it love. When the changes started, they were small enough to ignore. Late replies, new passwords, a smile that arrived a second too late. I noticed. I always notice. I just didn't accuse. Accusations are for people without proof. The proof came quietly. A receipt folded wrong, a calendar entry that didn't belong to me, a message preview that vanished before I could read it, but not before I saw the heart emoji. Blue. Pink. Funny how colors repeat themselves. I didn't confront him. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why. I planned. Control isn't about rage. It's about patience. I waited. I listened. I documented. I learned she was younger, not stupid, just reckless enough to believe in fairy tales. I learned he'd been sloppy, mixing accounts, signing things without reading. I learned my absence made him bold. I spoke to a lawyer before I spoke to a friend. I moved money before I moved emotions. I copied files, screenshots, emails, timelines. I became a ghost in my own marriage. And then I booked an earlier flight. The party froze when I opened the gate. Faces turned, smiles cracked. The balloons squeaked like they were nervous. My husband saw me last. He always does. His face drained in stages. Confusion. Fear. Calculation. He stepped toward me, hands raised as if I were the dangerous one. I didn't shout. I didn't ask questions. I walked past him and into the house. The decorations followed me inside. Baby shoes on the coffee table, ultrasound photos on my fridge. I stood there, breathing, while everyone waited for me to break. Instead, I spoke softly. "She's pregnant," I said. Not a question, a verdict. Silence collapsed the room. I turned to him. I know how long. I know who. I know how much. His mouth opened, closed. I handed him an envelope. Divorce papers. Filed. Time-stamped. A second envelope followed. Bank statements. His name highlighted where it shouldn't be. The third envelope was for her. A printed email thread. Her words, his promises. I watched her read, watched her face change when she realized she was the secret, not the future. I didn't need to say the last part. The law would. By the time the guests left, there were no balloons left standing. By the time the sun set, the house was quiet again. He tried to talk that night. I listened the way you listen to traffic, aware, unmoved. He lost the house, the accounts, the image. I kept my name, my company, my calm. The baby wasn't my problem, but the lies were his undoing. Now, when I think back to that banner, I almost smile. Not because of the pain, but because of the timing. He thought he was celebrating a beginning. He was hosting an ending. I didn't come home early to surprise my husband. I came home on time to reclaim myself, and that was the real miracle.